Hello and welcome to episode 2 of FPL Waffle. A bit of a review of Game Week 23 and then looking forward to Game Week 24 and beyond. I did indeed triple captain an Erling Haaland this week. And to be perfectly honest, I was extremely relieved with how he performed in the end. I was watching the first match, and yeah, to get subbed off at half time against Villa and for Mahrez to have taken the penalty, um, it was looking really bleak. Obviously he got the assist, but a 4 pointer, I was thinking, uh, away to Arsenal, and then there was the injury concern. Like, is he even going to play? So then to have started the game and to have scored late goal and to come away with 10 points, triple to 30, I'll take it. Take it all day long. Come out with 30 points for triple captain. That's fine. I'll take that. Brought in Mahrez last week, which proved to be a really good transfer. Thrilled with his 14-point return. Just made it to 60 minutes against Arsenal for the 2 points in that game after smashing the game against Villa. Should have scored a second against Villa with a really easy chance that he just smashed over the bar. And then obviously, yeah, Saka did really nicely for me, which I was thrilled about too. Rashford just keeps on scoring. This man's unstoppable. And it actually poses questions for this upcoming game week in terms of captaincy, because got Rashford against Leicester at home, who, I mean, Leicester are leaky. They always go out to attack games. And Rashford again scored tonight in the Europa League. He's just on goal scoring form. So you feel like he has a very high chance of scoring a goal against Leicester at home. But then you've got Erling Haaland against Forest. Forest have been solid defensively at home. This is my dilemma. But if anyone's going to haul, it's probably going to be Haaland. So do you take the chance on a haul, or do you sort of semi play it safe with Rashford? You obviously got the extra point for goal. You've got the midfielder, extra extra point for a clean sheet if they get a clean sheet. I do think there's a slim chance Haaland gets a rest with the Champions League coming up, whereas I don't think Rashford's getting rested. So the more I think about it, the more I'm tempted to just captain Rashford. And to be honest, I think I'd enjoy it more if Rashford does well. I like Rashford, and it's been nice seeing him in such good form rather than going for Haaland, who everyone goes for. But it does feel risky, so I'm still yet to be decided about that. Other than that, I'm really happy with the team. I was planning on bringing in Reece James originally for Varane, playing him at home Southampton, thinking guaranteed cleaner attacking returns. But with Southampton's change of manager, Jesse March is quite an attacking manager. They might have the new manager bounce against Chelsea to wipe the cleaner. Then since the last few games, Reece James has come out to say this, that basically he's not going to play every minute of every game because since coming back from many injuries, he doesn't want to injure himself again. Completely understandable. I think everyone was expecting that. And having just played 180 minutes over the last two games, including one in the midweek, I think there's a strong chance he gets benched against Southampton. So I'm now leaning against that. Then you could go for that centre back for Chelsea, whose name I can't pronounce, Bada somethingville. I think I've got that miles off, but he's seemingly nailed. But I don't know. They have a lot of good centre backs. I don't think he's guaranteed to play every match. So I'm actually leaning towards just playing my Rico Henry. Brentford have been really solid at home. Um, yeah, good chance for cleaner. I think he's obviously got attacking return potential. And then White's been bothering me. I wanted Gabriel on my wild card, but I couldn't afford him. And after being benched against City, I just think with Tomiyasu there, White is always a rotation risk now, whereas Gabriel isn't, and he poses more of a threat from set pieces for the goal return. So the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm thinking I'm just going to use my free transfer on White to Gabriel. Really boring sideways move and play this team at the weekend, and then into 25. Um, I'm really, really tempted to play my free hit because I can attack the double game week, the double blank. Going into next game week, I'll be left with, I think, a squad of 8 or 9 players with a few players blanking. Or I could play my free hit and get a full team of doublers and maybe an Erling Haaland as well. I just feel like it could be more aggressive for me. So I want to use my free transfer this week so then I don't sort of burn it, so to speak, because I can't roll it into the free hit. So they're my thoughts with my team. But yeah, we'll see. I'm going to see what happens with the press conferences tomorrow. I was really tempted to bring in Estepinian for Brighton because they're doubling in, well, supposedly they're doubling in 27 and 29, or a likely one in 29, not guaranteed yet, depending on FA Cup, I think, and stuff. But today, I've just seen an hour ago, Mr. Ben Crellin has shared this to say that rail strikes are going to be happening again on the rearranged Palace Brighton game, which means there's a decent chance it's going to be called off again, which then gives me less incentive to bring in Estepinian if he then only has a single game week. So I'm thinking White's Gabriel, do my free hit in 25, and then after 25, there'll be more information about who's doubling, who isn't, etc. And then I'll be able to make a more informed decision about what to do with my team going forward into this really messy period, which I'm looking forward to. I think from an FPL perspective, like it's quite exciting because a lot of people are going to have different players in their teams. They can, some people are going to go for the doublers in 27, others aren't. I've already got 2 Brentford boys, so I'm, hopeful that they might be a differential for me in 27. Then 28, there's a few blankers. So there's going to, my team is going to be a bit sketchy in 28, but there's not loads of amazing teams in it, so I'm not too worried about that, to be honest. I don't think there's loads of point potential. So I'm going to try and scrape through that with a decent captain pick. And then 29, hopefully bring 2 transfers into that to attack the double. And then after that, we'll just see what happens with injuries and my players and how my team's looking, etc. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this run of games. I think 25, if I play my free hit, I haven't heard anyone else talk about playing their free hit, which is probably for a good reason, because the likes of Everton and Wolves aren't the most tasty doublers. But Liverpool potentially coming into form for a nice double. I can triple up on Liverpool. I'll triple up on my Arsenal as I'd have had already. And then, why not chuck in a couple of Everton, a couple of Wolves players for their double game weeks? They get 1 clean sheet out of 2, like great. Or even if one of them got a clean sheet, and then they get a few extra appearance points. You just never know. You never know. I'm going to enjoy doing it. And I don't think there's loads of standout fixtures outside of the doubles that I could be really nervous about outside of City v Bournemouth. But I could always chuck in a Haaland for that, or maybe even 2 City players, and then just have the rest doublers. So, yeah, I think if your team's a bit like mine, and in 25 you might have a few blankers. Like I think it could be worth a punt to have an aggressive go at double game week where most people are going to get through 25 with a few doublers and a load of single game weekers. Or may even have some players that aren't even playing and they've got a squad of 9 or 10. Whereas, you could go into the game week with essentially 10, 11 doublers, which is a massive differential over, most of the other players in FPL that aren't going to be playing a lot of these doublers and are going to have some blanking players. And I'm tempted. And I think you should consider it, but it depends on how your team's looking. You might really look ahead and think actually it's well worth playing it later on. And I know the chip strategy people have been talking about are, I think, with 28, they're thinking, that's right, wildcard 27, getting some of the Brentford Brighton boys, then free hit 28 in that difficult blank, get rid of the Brentford Brighton boys who are probably going to blank, or definitely are going to blank in 28. And then 29, you then get them back for their doubles. And then I think looking into the future double game weeks, you can sort of bench boost in one of the future ones, maybe even 29. But that I think depending on how your team's looking and depending basically what you're feeling, what you're wanting to do, just go with what you want to do. I find my biggest regrets in fantasy football is where I want to do something and then I change my mind because I'm like, the fantasy football sweats and all the YouTubers are saying the logical decision would be to do this. And sometimes there's good merit in that. But if you really want to do it and you think, I've got enough to justify it, I want to do it, like, don't overthink it. Do what you want to do. You will regret it more if you really want to do something and talk yourself out of it, than if you go along with doing something just because everyone else is doing it. Like, it's not as fun. And you're gonna there potentially are more differential points if you go with something that's a bit left wing that you want to go for. I think I've learned this season you need to follow the template quite a lot, because otherwise you fall too far behind. And I've actually been playing catch up for a lot of the season because I went too differential for a lot of it. But now I'm sort of more or less back on the template with a few differentially players in there. I'm starting to pick up again. I've had quite a few green arrows in a row, which is got me now up to 720,000th in the world. I'm really hoping for another top 100k finish this season. I got 65k last year. I think I'm on for that if I can have a good end to the season, a good free hit, and then navigate my way through the doubles and blanks well enough. So yeah, they're kind of, I guess, my thoughts. I think, yeah, like I said, look at your teams and work out what your chip strategy is going to be now, because there's all these doubles and blanks coming up. I think you need to sort of have a good idea now as to what you're going to do, and then you can sort of gradually plan for it. Like with me playing my free hit in 25, I'll have a couple of transfers I could work with towards the 28 blank and the 29 double. So I know even if I play my free hit, which I think I'm going to, at least I'll have some transfers in the bank to kind of help get me ready for the other game weeks. But yeah, it might be better for you to just play your chips in these games and just get through 25 like most other people are. But yeah, do what you want to do, have fun. Yeah, take some advice. Use logical decisions, but ultimately, fantasy football should be enjoyed. And yeah, if you're like me and just want to have a massive aggressive punt on 25 with a free hit in the double game week, then my advice would be go for it. Go for it. I don't know how long I've been waffling for, so I'll probably call it there. I hope you enjoyed the second episode of FPL Waffle, looking ahead to the future game weeks and reviewing my game week 23 team. And yeah, I'll hopefully be back next week to discuss how my team's done, and yeah, potentially looking at a free hit draft for my game week 25 side. So yeah, for now, have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you on the next one.